That's hot.
I'm definitely gonna put this one on the blooper reel. I can tell. He's laughing. Holy Hannah.
I like these more.
Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome to All Services Leadership Communication Series. My name is Hayden Ryan, and this season is called Hot Seat, where we ask leaders of our company burning questions while eating spicy chicken wings. Today features Keith Anderson, Chief Commercial Officer. Keith's been with the company for a year and 2 months. He's a graduate of Eastern Illinois University, been in the industry for over 24 years, working for companies like Shaw Industries and most recently Congolium, where he was a Senior Vice President of Sales. He's from Rockford, Illinois, home of Cheap Trick, Sock Monkey, and the Rockford Peaches. Welcome to the show, Keith. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me. I'm a huge fan of the show.
Oh, thanks. I'm glad to hear it.
Yeah.
How do you do with spicy foods?
I don't seek out spicy foods. Just the other night we were eating salsa, and I complained to my wife that it was really, really spicy. And I looked down at the label and it was medium salsa.
Oh, that's good. So
yeah, this should be a lot of fun.
yeah, awesome. For everyone, I think. So Keith, our first wing is called the Classic Chili Maple. It's from a company called Hot Ones. Pretty standard sauce. It's actually really tasty. Goes well with breakfast foods and such. So
Perfect.
Yeah, so ready when you are.
Cheers. That's good.
Mm-hmm. I do like it.
That's a good sauce. That to me is more like a sauce and not necessarily intentional fire.
That's
one I could enjoy.
Yeah, there's kind of like variation and kind of build, and we're not trying to, burn you out of your seat out of the gate.
Yeah, we'll get there, I'm sure.
Yeah. So you're from Rockford, Illinois.
Yeah.
I know you're a big family man, and here we have a picture of you and your family on a trip to the Great Smoky Mountains.
Yeah.
Can you tell us about this trip and a little bit about your family?
Sure. Well, like everyone, we have a pretty active household. My daughter Gracie is 9. She's into dance, horseback riding, lots of activities for her. My son Lucas is 12. He plays multiple sports and is pretty heavy into drumming as well.
Okay.
So we're a family like everyone that's on the move almost every night of the week, every day of the week.
Yeah.
My wife of 20 years is also in the education space, so she's a teacher. So vacations are important for us, and things like spring break particularly is when everybody has an opening in the schedule.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we like to capitalize on that. And the national parks have been on our list the last few years. So 2 years ago we did the Grand Canyon.
Awesome.
Last year we did the Smoky Mountains in Tennessee, and Yellowstone I think is next on the list. So
I am partial to Yellowstone.
Are you?
From Montana, yes.
good.
I am.
You might be able to give me some insights as we're planning the trip.
So Keith, our next wing is called Curry Verde. It's from a company called La Pimenterie. I have trouble pronouncing that, but it's kind of like a Thai green curry sauce. It's actually quite good. It's one of the favorites that have been going for the show. So cheers.
Completely different taste. That's one I could see on tacos. It's a good one.
2023 has been a busy year. We started integrating the business, cultures, teams, and as well as the data, and a lot has happened. Let's talk about the accomplishments from the past year. What are some of the big achievements and milestones that's happened in 2023 from your perspective?
Sure. I think for the sales side of the business, for me, it's really just our organizational structure, putting our teams together, right?
Right.
And first, I'd start with our sales and marketing leadership team. We've established a group of leaders on that side of the organization that have a wealth of experience in our space and just years of tribal knowledge. Between marketing, supplies, flooring, all of those things. So I probably shouldn't do this because I might forget somebody, but I'll try not to. But, starting with Al Ross, our VP of Sales. Al comes from the supply side of the business. Steve Rosenthal, our Vice President of Merchandising, handling all of our products under our umbrella. So I like to take those two and say one of them has the people side of our business, the other one has the product side of our business. And both of those are critical to everything that we do.
Yeah.
Mark Haberman, who's our Vice President of Marketing, who comes from the All-Tile CCS side of the business. Pat O'Keefe, Vice President of our cushion business, which is a big part of our overall sales revenue.
All right.
And Jeff Lindmark, who's our Director of National Accounts, handling some of the large buying group customers and key customers in our footprint. All of those individuals have been instrumental in managing all those projects and items, all that work that you've been talking about under the sales and marketing side for the past year, and are doing a fantastic job.
I know as the teams have been developing, we've established new territories, and with that come regional sales managers. Do you have any things to say about that team?
Yeah, so similarly with the org structure, the next level of that piece of it for the sales organization is the regional manager structure. So we've created 7 sales regions throughout the company, as you know.
Yep.
And it's really about building teams and leaders within those teams. And we've been fortunate to bring leadership into each one of those regions that represent all of the different brands that that we're built from. And for me, the most rewarding part is just seeing how those teams have come together. And it's really been, I've said from day one that our sales team is second to none in this industry. I still believe that. And as we've come together in all of these regions, they're even stronger today. So it's been really fun to watch. And I think it's just is a positive outlook for us moving forward.
Yeah. So Keith, how are you doing so far? I know we're only a couple wings in, but
doing good so far. No pain.
Awesome, glad to hear it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah,
Let's go.
It might be. The next sauce we have is called Zesty Lemon Pepper. It's from a company called the Krabby Shack. Works really good with kind of seafoodish, but also works really well on chicken. So kind of has, I don't want to say Old Bay, but typical with like seafood, kind of has that kind of essence to it. So
good. I'm sure it's not the lemon pepper chicken we all expect. I would say more flavor than heat for me.
Yeah, it has like kind of tomatillo in it. It's kind of, I would say, the lightest of the sauces, but it really kind of has like a brightness to it that is nice.
It's really good.
Keith, sales is a dynamic and important part of our company, from interacting with customers and suppliers to expanding territories and products. Can you talk about the strengths of our relationships with customers and suppliers and what opportunities that might come from product expansion?
Sure. I'll start with customers and vendors, and it's kind of cliche to say, but it's true. Whether customers or vendors, our relationships with both those groups are tremendous across the board. And you can pick a company: Tri-State, Cartwright, Blakely, All-Tile CCS, Walcrow. All of the vendor relationships, all the customer relationships with our top customers are strong. They're rooted in many years. Many of those relationships have turned into friendships from working relationships. So from that perspective, we're very fortunate. The people that we do business with, both who we purchase from and who we sell to. In terms of product expansion, that's been a pretty heavy lift for us on the product side of the business. Merging together different product bags, if you will, from different companies. There's a lot of SKUs. There's a lot of inventory to manage. There's a lot of moving parts to that.
Just a few.
Just a few. But I'm proud to say that today, and by the time this airs, we'll even have more. We're already actively selling and introducing products across our entire footprint, not just by specific brand or state or geography. So we're already starting to see that product plan, that strategy come together and being successful already. So we're excited for that. We're excited for the work, the initial lift to be somewhat over, and having a little more clarity as we move forward with product. But there's a lot to come on the product side of what we do. That's pretty exciting going into 2024.
So
Okay, well, this is the first one that uses Fuego and Ghost in the,
Yeah,
in the
yeah.
description. So
yeah, it's a little
I'm
more blunt.
anticipating a little more, little step up in heat here.
Yeah, I think so.
All right.
But in a good way, personally.
All right, let's try it. Yeah. It's got like a mole sauce to it.
Yeah, you get that kind of chocolate note.
Mhm.
It's
Mhm.
really deep in flavor.
If you order wings in a restaurant, they usually come 6 at a time. So I'm not
True.
sure how we landed at 10. It seems like 6 would have been more natural, but we'll.
Tends a little more rhythmic, kind of separate it a little bit. And,
I'll take your word for it.
yeah, kind of allows us to ask you more questions.
There you
too.
go.
So, yeah,
Exactly.
that's why we did it.
Exactly.
Currently, we're the second largest company in the country
Mhm.
within our space. From top to bottom, we have an amazing sales force, and they've gone through a lot in this past year. One term we've heard a lot of is cross-selling.
Mhm.
Can you tell us what that really means and how it impacts the sales team?
I'll start by giving you our acronym for cross-selling, and I think most people who have any experience in sales are familiar with the ABCs of selling, which is for the rest of the world, always be closing. For us at All Surfaces, It's always be cross-selling. So the sales team out there has all heard me say that over and over and over again, and we use it a lot when we're together as a group. But it's kind of catchy, and it's a good reminder for what we're all thinking about in every sales call that we make. But
Yeah, absolutely.
at its core, to me, cross-selling is about us communicating to our customers everything that All Surfaces has to offer, right? So
Right.
we have a strategy on how we go to market with flooring and supplies and cushion. But really, in terms of cross-selling, we want to always be talking about what All Surfaces. Yes, we want to focus on the products that we uniquely sell as a sales rep or as an organization, but also talking about the company as a whole. And an example of cross-selling in the sales side of the business and how we view it is, if we have a customer that's buying $500,000 in supplies and little to no flooring, for us, that is a cross-selling opportunity. That's a customer that loves to do business with you and All Surfaces, at least from a supplies perspective. That maybe we didn't have the flooring options for them in the past, or we didn't have the structure to service that business in the past, but today we do. Those are customers that we want to have for lack of a better term, a consultative type meeting with, and talk about our company, our products in all of our lines of business, flooring supplies, and maximize our relationship with that customer. So as a sales organization, particularly for our regional managers out there, they're well aware of this. Cross-selling is something I think that's on our mind all the time, but it's really something that happens naturally. We have customers that like to do business with us, and we want to maximize the relationship for them and for us. So that's really what cross-selling means to us today as we move forward.
Again, this is Los Calientes,
So we're this one,
Rojo,
right?
so it's this one, I guess. I would avoid that one on your far left.
For as long as possible.
Yeah. So
All right,
cheers.
here we go. That's actually pretty good.
So, Mr. Anderson.
Yeah, that's an original one. I've actually never watched the entire series of The Matrix.
Third one's garbage.
Yeah.
Second one's okay. First one's great.
And I get Mr. Anderson weekly, so I need to do that.
So we have another picture to show. Looks like a young Chiefs football team.
Yeah,
Can you tell us about this picture and your involvement in coaching?
certainly. Well, I didn't pick the name because obviously we would have been the Packers,
Go back.
and not the Chiefs. So I've had the chance the last couple of years to coach my son in baseball and football.
Awesome.
My daughter hasn't really given me the chance to get involved in dance for good reason. So it's been mostly for my son, but more of an assistant coach in baseball, not really my sweet spot. I played a little baseball when I was young, but football's kind of more of my speed. So it has been his head football coach for the last 2 years.
It's fun.
I enjoy it. It's a short window to be able to do it, before your kids are off, kind of doing their own thing. Selfishly for me, like a lot of our sales team, I travel quite a bit. So it kind of forces me to block off some time on the schedule as well to make sure I'm there for some important things.
Yeah.
Because you do miss a lot, and those are one of the ones you don't want to miss. So I really enjoy the coaching, but obviously working with 11 and 12-year-old boys, the laughs never end.
Yeah. No fun whatsoever.
No fun whatsoever. I think there's a stat that the male maturity level doesn't advance much beyond 12 years old, is what I've heard. I don't think that applies to you and I. I mean, look at us.
Not at all.
Everybody eats hot stuff just to burn themselves, but
at work,
of all things. But being around them and hearing them talk in the huddle or in practice, we may be in an intense part of the game, and the coaches are really into the next play and making sure it works, and one of the boys may just say something completely out of left field that has nothing to do with football.
Get a little bit of it.
I think I recall from previous episodes, this is kind of the one where people start to squirm a little bit.
A little bit.
Right.
This around here is where people do a little more than squirming.
Yeah.
So
fantastic. Let's do it. Oh yeah.
This one's a little more upfront from the spice.
That's the first one that's initiated the nasal passage.
Keith, let's talk about one of the biggest initiatives of 23 and 24, territory alignment, which we've touched on a little bit previously. What approach are we taking, and what does this look like for the future?
Yeah, well, our strategy, as a sales organization, is that we have a specialized sales force. And what we mean by specialized is we have a dedicated flooring sales force, we have a dedicated supply sales force. In some areas, many areas, we have more than one flooring rep or more than one supplies rep calling on a customer today, and that's okay. Customers do, however, prefer, I think that's more streamlined. It's a little less confusing on, who do I call? I call you for this and him for that. But if we can simplify that for the customer, and all your supplies are coming from one territory manager, your flooring's coming from another, we're kind of giving them what they want in terms of how easy we are to do business with. So territory integration is really that. It's us fulfilling our strategy and on how we want sales to roll up by line of business. As you mentioned, we've already done some of this where we've integrated some of the branches. There's a little heat in the back coming in, which is good. Iowa, we've done some of that already to this point, which has been very smooth. We've started some of this in Wisconsin as well, and we'll gradually get there as we continue to integrate with the ERP system. That's a big dependency for that to be successful and for everybody to have the information that they need. But it's a pretty simple process. It's meaningful for our reps, for our customers, and that's something that we think about all the time. How are we best servicing the business? And that's what it's about.
Absolutely, yeah. Keith, I know that we kind of ramped up a little bit in the last one. How are you doing with the spice so far?
Doing good.
Matching the color of your shirt yet, or are you kind of staying a little level?
Yeah, I'm probably getting close there. I'm kind of pale skinned, so I can get a little flush fast. I can taste the heat, and the nasal passages are open. So yeah. It's actually not bad.
Oh.
It's not as upfront as you said as the last one. The last one really does hit you up front. It's a pretty good analogy. This one's a little more tasty.
A big topic over the past year and going into 2024, the integration.
Sure.
I know we've worked closely. I personally know we've worked closely on reporting and data, but there are a lot of other important initiatives in progress. Can you tell us what can be expected and how it impacts the sales force with these initiatives?
Sure. So I think you were politely saying maybe I've wore you out on some reporting. Thank you for all of that.
Of course, it's my job and I enjoy it. So.
No, from a sales perspective, integration is kind of twofold, I
Mhm.
guess. One has been the people side of it, which we've, going back to our org structure as a whole, right? So we've
Mhm.
already integrated the teams and how we go to market from that perspective. So really, it becomes the internal piece of integration or the ERP system specifically for us.
Yeah.
If I put it in one word, it's really visibility, right?
Mhm.
It's having visibility to the business from a singular source of truth in our system, and not having to rely on outside resources to run all the reports that I need or our people need in the field.
Yeah.
But I think, whether it's integration, our go-to-market strategy, our org structure, it all still leads to, at the end of the day, how we service the customer.
Mhm.
And how easy are we to do business with for the customer.
Yeah.
And for them, it's about our people having better reporting, better knowledge of what's happening in their business, more efficient logistics capabilities, better inventory levels, and where we keep those inventories, how we get it to the customer. So every customer I talk to, they all want to hear how we're integrating our company
Right.
and our brands, but the question is really ultimately, what does it mean for me?
Yeah.
Right? What are all these things that you're doing? What do they mean to me? How does it translate to me as the customer? And again, once we're fully integrated, particularly on the ERP system, that visibility to the business, the inventory, how we get products from A to B is really what it's all about, and it's about the customer.
Keith, so this next wing is called Evolution, from a company named The Bomb.
The Bomb.
A very notorious company for creating hot sauces. They're all natural hot sauce, so it is made from real peppers, but it's hot.
All right, well, let's do The Bomb.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
The Bomb hits.
It does. So Keith, we hear you're a big sports enthusiast. Big Packers fan. Go Pack, go.
Mm-hmm.
And also, kind of interested in motorcycles and outdoor activities. What do you like to do in your free time?
Typically not self-inflict pain with hot
That's
sauce,
fair.
but I'm just gonna catch my my breath for a minute here. That one's pretty hot. I'll give you that. So yes, I am a sports enthusiast for sure. In my free time, my wife jokingly says that she limits my hobbies because I have somewhat of a addictive personality when it comes to hobbies. When I get into something, I'm probably like the rest of us. I'm all in.
Right.
If for me, the perfect day, and 'tis the season, would be spent probably sitting in the woods hunting or on a lake fishing. Those are probably the two things that drive me the most. What I like to do. I'm a pretty avid golfer as well. Enjoy that. I do have passion, as you mentioned, for motorcycles and guitars as well. Both of them have been a lot of fun for me. Been expensive in some parts of my life.
Very cheap piece of equipment.
Yeah. I've owned a few motorcycles in my day, and have built up a small little guitar collection going on,
Oh,
which
nice.
has been kind of fun. Both those things I can really feel it as I'm talking.
I feel it too,
That is a
to be honest,
time-released heat. A lot of those interests, kind of take a backseat at certain stages in your life. So motorcycles have left the garage. Guitars I still like to play, and my kids enjoy that as well. But certainly kids, family, and work takes up a lot of time. So you pick and choose. And right now it's usually been spent sitting out in the woods or in a cornfield hunting.
Can't blame you for that.
Yeah.
Sounds peaceful.
Yeah, it's extremely peaceful.
Awesome.
Yeah.
This next one is a little more redeeming. My eyes are watering. Yeah.
I feel like my eyes are watering, but I see your eyes watering.
Keith, the next one is called Watermelon Ghosts from Alchemy Peppers. It is very refreshing, and then it's not. It's kind of a watermelon-y, citrusy ghost pepper sauce. So
refreshing is not the word I would be using at this stage.
the very beginning of this swing, it's refreshing. So
Is it?
Yeah.
All right. I actually have a little sweat going on. Now that we're both adequately flowing
See,
from eyes to nose to
it's a
ears.
shared experience.
It is.
Can't let you sit here and do it alone, so I have to go through it with you. So,
Wow.
Keith, word has it that you're a big foodie. Do you have any favorite spots in Chicago? And what's your favorite cuisine?
I guess I am a foodie, but I wouldn't consider myself to be a foodie. I'm probably more of a food snob, to be honest with you, but for good reasons.
Right.
I think I adamantly oppose chain restaurants. Right.
Mhm.
I really don't eat a lot of fast food, but I travel a lot, so in a pinch you compromise.
Right.
But for me, because I travel a lot, eat out a lot, while chain restaurants are always available, I much prefer to seek out local, unique places.
Mhm.
So if when I go out to eat, I like to go to places that make their own whatever. Right? What are they known for? What's their specialty in trying different foods? Chicago is obviously an amazing food city.
I've heard good things.
Yeah, it's probably for me up there with New Orleans in terms of one of the best cities for food. There is obviously New York City is very similar. Excuse me, I wouldn't say it could have been ugly. I can't say that I have a favorite place that I like to go. Having said all of that, for me, if I get to pick where I'm going, I'm a traditional steakhouse guy. Italian steakhouse, big steak, and all the sides that come with it.
Right.
That's probably me. I'm just maybe the Midwest guy in me that does that.
Excuse me.
I like all kinds of foods, but that's probably where I would fall back to as my go-to, and then finding the best place for that, whatever city I'm in.
Yeah. It's very traditional. So going off of that, ribeye or filet mignon?
Ribeye all day.
Mashed or baked potatoes?
I should say baked, but let's be honest. When mashed is full of butter and whatever else they put in it at those restaurants, it's amazing.
Whiskey or wine?
I enjoy bourbon as much as the next guy, but I certainly enjoy a good glass of wine.
Kind of situational.
I almost said a good bottle of wine.
Good bottle.
A good glass of wine.
So Keith, on the last swing, we traditionally do a little bit of the last dab.
Yeah.
Add a little more. You don't have to if you don't want to.
Yeah.
I personally...
Could you imagine the flack I would take if I didn't?
Becky's done it, John's done it, Jerry, Eric. So, again, if you don't want to, you don't have to.
I think we both know this really isn't a choice.
Can't break tradition.
Yeah, I feel like, for the record, I feel like I'm being pressured here. Is that how you do it?
Gotta get on there,
Boy, this is a two-biter.
End of the road. Here we go. This one is a little bit more flavorful, so...
This is the first time I felt fear before eating the maybe it's the audience that's assembled in the hallway, but let's do it.
We're putting on a show.
Yeah. Well, I'm really glad we did that dab. Much.
Yeah, because it's not spicy enough. You gotta add a little more.
You can't see it, but actually the back of my head is wet. It's real.
Perspiration.
It's
giving you
it's
cool
real.
in this hot room.
Yeah.
Awesome. Keith, you did it.
Yeah.
Completed all 10 wings. I'll give you the floor for one last word. As you're burning a hole in your seat, juices are flowing, sweating, fire through your fingertips. Anything you'd like to mention? What can we be excited for 24? The floor is all yours.
Well, first, thank you for doing this, you and Evan both. This is
Of course.
And breaking down the heat barrier for me is certainly not something I would do on my own. I promise you that. 2024, kind of the buzzwords for me as we get into 2024 is it's a year of execution for us. 2023 has been a lot of work. It's been a lot of behind the scenes things happening that, as you're well aware of. With the company and integration and all those things that we talk a lot about. And it's really to get us to 2024 where we can execute on that. We have a lot of product coming out on all sides of our business. We have a lot of growth in front of us as we expand products like we've talked about. And refine our systems and processes. And 2024 is when all of that's going to, kind of when the rubber hits the road. When the world gets to see it in action. So I'm excited for it. We have a lot of positive things going on, and that's it. It's going
to be a great year. Thanks again, Keith. You did awesome, and I hope you have a good flight home.
All right. Well, we're not quite done yet. So we're gonna maybe flip the script a little bit if we can. I'm not sure how many episodes of this have been recorded yet. 4?
I think we're on 5 or 6.
Yeah. So as I'm sitting here and I'm getting more hot in my mouth every minute that goes by, I think we should take a chance to introduce you to everybody.
Ooh.
Right?
Right.
Who is this guy? Force feeding hot sauce to us. So maybe we should just take a minute to clarify for people who don't know you, who you are, what you do. This is actually not your full-time job. I think we should let people know that immediately. This is not all Hayden does.
I was hired on to eat wings.
So why don't we tell the audience a little bit about you? Does that sound good?
Yeah, sounds great.
Okay.
Good. Have a little milk.
Yeah, have a little milk. Tell us, just start with the basics. Where are you from? Where'd you go to school? What did you do before All Surfaces?
My name's Hayden Ryan. I am the manager of financial planning and analysis. I have been with All Surfaces for almost a year now. So January 3rd will be a year. So crazy how fast time has gone. I'm a graduate. I studied accounting and finance at St. John's University in Collegeville, Minnesota, a little college town. But I'm originally from Billings, Montana. Avid skier, ski raced, was a professional instructor.
Really?
I was actually one of the youngest professional instructors ever for the
wow.
Professional
See,
Association.
we never would have known that if we didn't put the script. And I may have to make you do another dab.
You have to do it with me, though.
Touche, we won't do that.
Before this, I was with Thomson Reuters as a senior financial analyst, helping support the sales team. Doing commission, quota structure, territory planning, kind of very similar to what I'm doing now, but much at a lower level. So now I'm kind of being able to touch a lot more.
So you have twin boys. I think you've told me they're 2.
They are 2, yes.
So when you leave for work in a golf shirt and your briefcase of hot sauces, does your wife actually believe you're going to work, or does she think you're just sleeping in the parking lot somewhere while she's home with 2-year-old twin boys battling?
She's actually a teacher. Right now.
Better.
So she so they're at daycare, but if Evan hadn't been posting these on the All Surfaces YouTube, I think she might think I was full. So
obviously, growing up, you aspired to be a talk show host. Clearly, right?
That's what my parents would say. I was shushed a lot as a child. So I know you're not just the report guy, right? Right.
That some people might think. So I will just elaborate a little bit on what your role is, your responsibility. I know you and I work a lot together, but for those who may not know you as well, maybe just give a brief description on what you do for your real job.
Right. So sales reporting is one aspect of that, especially with the integration year is what I think 2023 is going to be calling it. Kind of categorizing all of the brands and bringing up into one reporting structure and showing not as separate brands, but as like, here's all surfaces in a good picture. So we've had a lot of projects going on with that this year for executive leadership, also just the sales team as well. I do help create the budget, as well as working close with John DeYoung, John Welch as well with that, getting ready, preparing those statements for the bank and Shoreview. So really getting down to the nitty-gritty details, which has allowed me to get a really expansive view of the business. I also work on commissions. I'm a little bit doing stuff like that. Right now we're creating a data warehouse, which is going to help house all the data for, sales data in one concise location. As you know, it's going to be hugely, hugely helpful and a great tool for the sales team and for myself. One source, kind of turning around quicker. I know one challenge I've had this year is timeliness of reporting, getting those turned around because of the data quantity, but having that's going to be hugely helpful.
It's a big initiative that really paves the road for us for years moving
really does.
Forward. Right?
Yeah.
It's a big deal. Good. In terms of the show, maybe for those who want to try this at home, I don't know why anybody would want to do that.
It is fun.
It could be fun, up to number 4 or 5. But maybe give the viewers at home, some of the tricks of the trade. Like, how do you plan and prep for a day of eating hot wings? And sometimes, as you told me, you've done it twice in one day.
Yes.
So obviously, you pick a cool shirt so you don't sweat as much and things like that. I noticed. I didn't get that memo, but maybe just walk them through your pregame prep. Morning of hot seat challenge for you.
Right. The shirt thing I kind of fell into during the summer. I like to wear these shirts, and so when our producer and director Evan, who's standing off in the corner, I guess we'll back up. And this all kind of started one day when we're eating spicy Indian curry with John, and we're like, "Oh, have you ever heard of this show where we interviewed people and we showed it to him? Like, wouldn't it be funny if we, threw you on, asked some questions?" And John came back and said that'd be a great idea. So this kind of became like a great way to have a communication series with all you and get these conversations in a kind of more personal way that some people may not be able to access, and I kind of show how accessible and personable all you guys can be. Because if somebody at a branch here's chief operations or commercial officer, they might be a little intimidated by that, right? But just show just how the hot sauce can break down those barriers and kind of like relax everybody. So I try not to eat too much the day before. Have a good dinner. I don't go too heavy on the breakfast, and you don't want anything to kind of get stirred up. So I always do take a couple preemptive Tums, water.
Stay hydrated.
And the shirts, I wear these shirts during the summer, and it kind of, Evan made a comment, like, how many of those shirts do you have? I'm like, I have quite a few of them. So, but my wife always laughs at me when I'm going because, I was trimming up my beard and trying to make my hair look nice. And she's like, oh, yeah, you're doing that today. Oh,
it's filming day.
Yeah, it's filming day. So, but this is really fun for us, and it's a really exciting way. And I know hopefully we've been receiving good reception. But I think Pepto is always there if you need it. I haven't actually gone into that yet, but Tums beforehand.
Well, I'll let you know. Maybe it's not the pregame as much as the postgame that's important. So I'll let you know if I learn anything afterward. Well, thank you.
No, thanks, Keith.
Thank you again for you and Evan doing all of this. It's fun. We have a lot of diverse talent in the organization. And it's just fun to be a part of it. So thank you guys. Appreciate it.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Keith. Thanks. Thanks for watching Hot Seat. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to the What If email. And I hope you all have a good day. Thanks.
Wow.
Getting hot in here.
Woo.
Closure.
I can feel the moisture on the mat.